In a physics lab, there is an unstable atom. Left alone, it will decay. That is what unstable things do. They change. But physicists found something strange. If you measure that atom often enough, again and again, fast enough, its decay is dramatically suppressed. It stays close to its original state. The act of measuring it holds it nearly still. And by measuring, they mean a physical interaction, a detector, a pulse of light, not a watching mind. This is a real, confirmed effect. It has a name, the quantum Zeno effect. Two physicists described it in 1977, and it has since been seen in the laboratory. Frequent measurement can hold a quantum system nearly frozen. Now here is what stopped me. Nearly 1,800 years ago, a text was written in India, a manual on the nature of attention. It described how the ordinary mind drifts, how one thought decays into the next, endlessly. And it described a precise method to steady it. Not by force, by a particular kind of continuous, unbroken attention. A strikingly similar shape, sustained focus, steadying a system that would otherwise drift. One found it in particles, the other found it in the mind. This is not a claim that meditation freezes atoms. It does not. It is something strange. Two completely separate investigations arrived at the same pattern. That attention, held steadily enough, can change how a system unfolds. Start with physics. Many things in the quantum world are unstable. Take a single radioactive atom. Left to itself, it will eventually decay. It might happen in a second. It might take an hour, but it will change. That is its nature. Now do one thing. Measure it. Check whether it has decayed yet. Then measure it again and again, very fast, many times a second. Something surprising happens. The decay slows down dramatically. As long as the measurements come fast enough, the atom stays close to its starting state. In simplified terms, each measurement catches the system before it can change and starts the clock over. The system is held nearly still by the act of measuring. And here is why this matters. In ordinary life, looking at something changes nothing. Here, the act of measuring becomes part of the physics. The observation is not a bystander. It shapes the outcome. Two physicists gave this a name in 1977, Baidyanath Misra and George Sudarshan. They called it the quantum Zeno effect. The name comes from Zeno, an ancient Greek philosopher. He argued that an arrow in flight, seen at any single instant, is not moving. There is an old saying that fits, a watched pot never boils. In the quantum world, something close to that holds. A closely measured particle can be held back from changing. And this is not just theory. In 1990, physicists confirmed it with trapped ions. Later, a team at Cornell held a cloud of atoms nearly still, using repeated laser measurements. The effect is real. It has been measured. And it overturns something we assume without thinking. We treat looking as passive, as if observing a thing leaves it untouched. At the quantum scale, that can fail. Frequent measurement is active. It can hold a system in place. Now, two honest limits before we go on. First, measurement does not always freeze a system. Under different conditions, the opposite can happen. Frequent measurement can actually speed up decay. Physicists call this the anti-zeno effect. In many real situations, it is the more common one. So this is not a universal law. Whether measurement slows a system or speeds it up depends on the system and the timing. The freezing is real, but it is conditional. Second, a reminder that matters. As we said, the observer here is not a mind. The measurement is a physical interaction. Nothing mystical is happening to the particle. So hold that clearly as we turn to the mind. What follows is a parallel in structure, not a claim that thought reaches into matter. Now step almost 2,000 years into the past. In India, a text was compiled called the Yoga Sutras. It is attributed to a figure named Patanjali, and it is not a book of belief. It is a precise manual on the nature of attention. It begins with a simple observation about the mind. The mind does not hold still. Leave it alone, and it drifts. One thought slides into the next. A sound, a memory, a worry, a plan. The mind, in its ordinary state, is unstable, always changing, always moving on. And you may already sense where this is going. It is the same problem, in a different domain, a system that will not stay in one state. The Yoga Sutras describe a precise response. It unfolds in stages. The first is called dharana. You place your attention on a single point, the breath, a sound, a single image. The mind wanders off almost at once, so you bring it back. It wanders again, you bring it back again. Dharana is this act of returning, catching the attention each time it slips. Notice how close this is to physics, a continual checking, each time returning the system toward its state. Then comes the next stage. The text calls it dhyana. The Sanskrit line is short, tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. It means an uninterrupted flow of attention toward a single point. The returns have become so continuous that the gaps close. The old commentaries describe it with an image, oil poured in a single, unbroken stream, or a river flowing smoothly toward the sea. The mind, which naturally drifts, gradually grows steady. Not by force, by the sheer continuity of attention. Pause here for a moment. Notice where your attention is right now. If you are honest, it has already moved several times since this sentence began. That is the drift. It is completely normal. It is what an unattended mind does. Now gently bring it back to these words, just once, without strain. That small act of returning is the very thing the Yoga Sutras are built on. And it is the same move in the mind that the physicist makes with a measurement. So place the two side by side. In physics, an unstable particle tends to decay. Frequent measurement keeps it near its original state. In the Yoga Sutras, the restless mind tends to drift. Continuous attention keeps it on its object. The shape is the same. A system that naturally changes, held steady by sustained observation. One tradition found it in particles, the other found it in the mind. 18 centuries apart, from a laboratory and from a meditation seat. Now, be careful about what this means. These are not the same process. The particle is held by a physical measurement. The mind is held by attention. Those are different kinds of things. Patanjali did not discover the quantum Zeno effect, and physics does not prove that meditation works. Neither one reaches into the other. What they share is a structure, a single pattern, surfacing in two different worlds. and both overturn one quiet assumption. That observation is passive. That to attend to something is to leave it unchanged. Both found the opposite. Held steadily enough, attention enters the event. Here is something you can try. Not as a belief, as an experiment. Choose one simple thing to attend to. The feeling of your breath is enough. Rest your attention on it, just the sensation of breathing in and out. Within a few seconds, your mind will move. A thought, a sound, a memory. That is the drift. Expect it. The practice is not to stop the drift. It is to notice it and come back. Each return is like one measurement, a gentle catch before the mind wanders far. Do it a few times and notice the quality of attention change. It begins to steady. The gaps between returns grow shorter. That steadying is dhyana beginning. The principle a physicist uses on a particle, you are using on your own mind. Return to the atom in the lab. Left alone, it decays. Watch closely enough, it holds. And return to the mind on the meditation seat. Left alone, it drifts. Attended closely enough, it steadies. Two unstable systems, two traditions that never met. One worked with particles and lasers, the other worked with breath and attention. Neither proves the other. But both undo one quiet assumption, that to observe is to stand outside. In both, the observer is part of the event. The watching is not separate from the watched. And that may be the deeper finding. Not that attention freezes the world, but that nothing you attend to closely is ever quite left alone, including you. The one who attends is changed by the attending. Ancient wisdom, quantum mystery, direct knowing. This is quantum gnosis. If you want to see where this observer question leads next, that investigation is on your screen now and in the description.